Hey guys, how's it going today? Well, I'm going to attempt the solar panel installation today. It's fairly cloudy. They say 20% chance of rain. Some websites say 14%. So I'm gonna risk it. I gotta get this thing on. This weekend's supposed to be really hot, 29 Celsius. So I definitely want that solar panel up there. Lots of sun means better charge for my battery. This fan box is actually going to be used in the installation of my solar panel. How am I going to do it? What am I going to do? The anticipation mounts. So this is what I'm doing to the cardboard. I'm just putting it underneath. I'm going to put some marks with a felt pen, and then I'll be able to stick it on the roof with precision and accuracy. Okay, got my dots marked out on the cardboard and clean my solar panel. It was dirty. Honestly, I didn't clean it nearly enough when I was on my old van. The beginning I did, and then kind of got lazy. And then that van is gone. I haven't used it in like, I don't know, 5 months, so it's a year old. You know what the great thing about working at a Home Depot parking lot is? You need something, go in and buy it. This ladder was, with those steel braces, wasn't giving me a lot of confidence. I was bending quite a bit in those two spots, but now I got this PVC pipe and just cut some off, 9.5 inches, and makes it a lot tighter. And the great thing about this is it's easy just to take it off. It's just held in by gravity. So when I take the ladder apart, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So let's show you what my idea is here. Now I've done this before, so I know that it works. I got big flat washer and a small washer, and I tighten that on, and then these are nylon threaded, what do they call those, easy locks, stop nuts, whatever the heck they call them. They basically have some plastic in there, and it makes it so that the nut doesn't move. So I got big washer, small washer, lock nut, whatever the heck you want to call it, and then another washer. And then, sorry my fingernails are dirty, I've been working for a living here. And then the panel goes right between there, right between this washer and that washer, and gets sandwiched in there. So what I do with this is I put epoxy on here, I stick it onto the roof, and we're good to go. This is especially good for a flexible panel with a fiberglass roof. So I'll show you what the numbers on these washers are in case you want to follow along. I got all these items from Home Depot. So now I have each of the screws, bolts, nuts, whatever you want to call them, in place. I thought I had 8 grommet holes, but I actually have only 6. So I can bring some screws back and get some money back. So I got each of these things in the solar panel just for a dry fit, and I'm glad I did, because some of them are a little bit tricky. Because once these go on the roof, you know, once these are epoxied into place and they dry, they ain't ever coming off, I don't think. So you got to be really positive that they're exactly where you want them to be, because epoxy is very brittle, of course, and there's no movement. Kind of a one-shot deal. Let's take a look at what we're using today in this project. First we have this big flat washer, 2644. Then we have this little smaller one with a smaller hole, 2641. Those two are stainless steel. This one is galvanized, and it is 3206. The galvanized are cheaper, but in order to make things work, I needed to use the stainless steel stuff. Then for the lock washers, I call them stop nuts. They are 1032. There's the ones with the nylon dealies on the inside. And then for the longer screws, they are 1032 by 1.5. Now, as you can see here, there is a bit of play. But that's not a bad thing, because that means when these are epoxied onto the roof, they're going to be very solid. But because there's going to be a bit of play, I'm going to have an easier time sticking these things through the solar panel. Because if there's no movement whatsoever, I'd have to be extremely precise. Union brake. Shout out to a rolling earth ship, Lewis. Union brake, man. Gotta be in the union. Anyway, how do you like my new shirt? It's one of the 3 shirts I got off Amazon. Represent, yo! If you knew me, you'd know that is not my personality at all. So for lunch today, we have a lovely Whole Foods muffin. Which won't come out of the bag. Like so. We have 1 banana. Hello? Is anybody home? About 75 grams of almonds. And I got 3 apples. I'm only going to eat 1. And 2 liters of water, which I'm not going to drink all of. And the good news is, it hasn't started raining yet. And I hope it doesn't. Fingers crossed. So I just wanted to mention something. There is another option besides using this screw with washer kind of setup that I'm doing. And that's called VHB, Very High Bond Tape. I didn't go with that this time, even though I could have. And there's a couple reasons. Number one, I was kind of impatient. I wanted to get this done, and having for weight to be shipped and pick it up and all that, I can just go to the Home Depot, get what I need, and do it. So that's one reason. The other reason is, with the screw and washer setup, I can easily remove my panel. Just take the screw off and pop it off. But there are some advantages of the tape. One thing, it's way faster. You can just stick it on and stick it on. This whole thing, I mean, I gotta put epoxy on, then it's set for 4 hours. It's a whole process. So, pros and cons. The good thing with the fiberglass roof is that it's not as hot as a metal roof. And that's one reason where, when I'm on my old van, I initially went with the screw and washer setup, is because I was worried that the tape would, over time, lose its adhesive qualities. So, you know, I'm talking about like 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road. So, yeah, so just another option, VHB. If you want to go that way, it's perfectly good alternative.
And that is one crazy party.
I'm injured. Call paramedics. Got a bobo. First time I hurt myself in a little while. It was that thing's fault. It's your fault. Go to your room, Drill. Well, guys, pardon the expression, but it turned into a total shit show. Didn't go well. I had to abandon the cardboard template, and in the process, dealing with epoxy, that stuff means business. If you don't work with it properly, it ain't pretty. Anyway, so I didn't show a lot of the steps that I got to this part because I was just in a rush to get to that epoxy before it set too much. But I'll show you what I got so far. So part of my problem was this ladder. I was standing pretty much right here on this rung, and it's only like maybe 3.5, 4 feet off the ground, and if I fell, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Yeah, I'd bonk myself up pretty good, but the problem was, in order to get to the top part of the roof, I had to step on this rung, and that's where things got a little hairy, and honestly, I wasn't comfortable doing it. I probably should have just rented a proper ladder for this big job and just used the ladder for cleaning the solar panel. To get on this rung is no big deal, to do a quick solar panel clean, but when you're dealing with epoxy and everything, it was a mistake. I should have just rented the ladder and paid the $15. So this is what we have up here. Did not want to do it this way. It was way too difficult. The hard part was getting the other side. This part was easy. And then I managed to have better reach by putting the ladder on the other side of the van, but look at that mess. Stressful. So what I'm going to do is once this is dry, I'll take all this tape off, of course, and I'm just going to put some Dicor all over the epoxy, and that will cover all the gray matter that's all over the van, and it will also protect it from the sun and decrease the chance of it degrading from sunlight. Now keep in mind, I had this stuff on my van for my previous van for like a year, no problems. So, and when I took off the panel, I tested it and I gave it a good yank. Like I pulled the bolt really hard and tried to push it off, it wouldn't break. So I'm confident the epoxy is not going to move or have a problem. So the next job is going to be putting this cable through the roof, and I'm not going to do that today. Today I'm just going to tape it up there a little bit. Now you may be thinking, why did you put the solar panel over here? My thinking was, see how the curved the roof is. It's really curved, and the solar panel is flexible. But I'm thinking of putting another like sunroof kind of vent in that spot right there, and the reason it's going to work best there is because it's the flattest. Because I'm not happy with this black cover. It's not letting in much light. Not happy with it at all. So I need to have some more light in there. So one way or another, I'm going to put something in that spot, some kind of clear sunroof deal. So when you're dealing with a solar panel, it's important to tape the ends because there's light hitting this thing and it's producing electricity. One of my tape things fell off and I just noticed. So I'm going to have to re-tape that. One more note about the ladder. If you notice this tape, I had to put some cardboard on the other side here because it was rubbing against the glass on a spot. There's this metal bracket and I didn't like that. And then I just taped on this old silicone tube, which is, silicone's all hard in there, because it gives me a little bit of distance from the van so my foot can fit there without being like this. Anyway, just in case you're curious about the tape. Well guys, that was a lot of work. Wasn't thrilled about how it went. But, you know, not every battle can be a win, so there you go. There's a security guard at this Home Depot parking lot, and this epoxy needs like 6 hours to cure, so I have to basically leave it till like 9 o'clock tonight. So, yikes. I have a friend that's supposed to get together tonight. I'm hope he can change his plans a bit and we can meet around here somewhere. Anyway, regarding the ladder, I'm not thrilled with it. I definitely need to reinforce parts of it. And I like the idea of someone suggested about putting some wood glue to reinforce the spots between the rung and the long parts. I have this stuff called PL Premium, which is really good wood glue. It's actually stronger than wood itself once it's cured. So I'm probably going to do that. And like I said, I think the ladder is fine for like washing the panel. But to do a long-term job, to stand on it for quite a while, it's not, and it's not just standing on it for quite a while, it's the height you have to get onto the roof is not reassuring. Yikes. So yeah, I think next time, like if I do another, like I said, if I'm gonna do another sunroof kind of a thing in the top of the van, I'm gonna have to rent a ladder for that. That's a job. And even putting the solar panel wires in, I don't know, if I can find somewhere where I can get the ladder high enough where I don't have to climb up all the way to the top, it's a lot more stable. I also like the idea of using a loading ramp, but I don't know where one is that I could use without getting in trouble. So oh well, I'll figure it out. But definitely the sun is out now. I mean, so the clouds went away, so that's a nice little cherry on top of that pie. Anyways guys, that's gonna do for this one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good night.